industrial solution to the problems of domestic waste. A new process based on the methanization of organic matter comprises a group of installations on a single site which produce biogas and high-quality fertilizer out of products of all types. Before processing, the unit receives incoming waste. After crushing, ferrous and non-ferrous metals are sorted and recovered. Glass is then resorted by size for recycling. The biodegradable matter is separated from inert rejects such as plastics, which are processed later. After preparation in this way, organic matter is sent to the heart of the system, the digester. This consists of a tank in which the pre-mixed and preheated matter turns continuously for a cycle of 12 to 13 days in an anaerobic, air-free atmosphere. Under the effect of microorganisms, fermented matter produces biogas. Part of the biogas produced is used to inject matter with a pneumatic actuator and to stir it in the digester without being consumed. Another part of the gas is burnt in the preheating furnaces which activate the fermentation process. Energy independence and no internal mechanisms are two of the advantages which improve the reliability of the installation and ensure the independence of the operator. A ton of waste injected in the digester produces between 100 and 140 cubic meters of biogas in 15 days. The size of the digester depends, of course, on the local requirements. Before being transferred onto the public mains, the biogas may be stored in variable volume storage tanks. After being adjusted and compressed to the Gaz de France distribution characteristics, the biogas is delivered to users. After passing through the digester and giving off gas, the remaining digested matter is sent through a refining line. Any undesirable particles remaining are removed and sent to the incineration unit, where they're combined with combustible materials recovered during separation on the sorting line. All this material, which is burnt in a heat recovery furnace, contributes to the total use of domestic waste by creating a particularly economic additional source of heat. This original system, which has a much greater thermal yield than that of conventional incineration plants, has an additional advantage of neutralizing smoke, thus eliminating any pollution. The refined product obtained at the end of the line is a high-quality organic fertilizer which is particularly appreciated for horticultural uses. The production of gas from each methanization plant provides an unexpected and economic source of energy for local communities. Biogas is suitable for all urban heating uses. This process, developed by the Valorga company in cooperation with Gaz de France, also plays an active role in the conservation of our environment and has been recommended by various domestic waste recovery, energy and research agencies. The total use of domestic waste has finally become a reality. A metamorphosis of the contents of our trash cans into energy and fertilizer heralds the start of a new era for our economy, our comfort, and our standard of living.
It went around the Atlantic coast and looking for a friendly host. But oh, just had one thing to say.
Get that trash out of
Just take that dirty filth away. The garbage bunch was abandoned.
In 1987, a barge load of garbage became the flagship of the American garbage crisis. It took a 9,000-mile voyage and had its cargo refused by 8 states and 3 countries. In the same metropolitan New York area where the garbage barge originated is the worst case example of what's occurring in the garbage crisis. On Staten Island, barges of garbage from New York City are unloaded onto what is called the never-ending train. These giant tractor trains climb up into the sky where a 500-foot high mound is being built. On the average, American garbage is 5% metal, 8% glass, 15% is food waste, 50% is newspaper, cardboard, and wood waste, 7% is leather and rubber, 15% is plastic. These are resources being wasted. Most of this material could be recycled. Instead, it's being destroyed and our environment is suffering. 10 miles north of San Francisco's Golden Gate Bridge in San Rafael, California, solutions to the garbage crisis are being worked out. The Marin Sanitary Garbage Company is taking a 2-prong approach to recycling. It operates a county-wide curbside recycling program and has recently opened a unique dump site separation facility. As a result of the 2 programs, large quantities of our natural resources are being used one more time. These programs are examples of what must happen throughout the world.
The fact of the matter is that when you give the opportunity to the American public, at least, or at least to the people in this county, give them the receptacles, put them in their garage, the same day that they put out their garbage, if they have a receptacle, they'll put their bottles, their cans, and their newspapers out there and take pride in recycling this material. We've just built this resource recovery center simply because we've got the same problem that's all over the Western world. Dumps closing. Our dump closed there in February, and on March 1st we opened up this new waste reduction center to reduce the waste from going to the landfill, because we know, like everybody else knows, there's no place to take it to, aside from the fact that we're saving our natural resources. 7 of us partners put all of our money, $9.5 million on the line, through the West America Bank, and through that we were able to build a dream. And basically it's a palace of garbage is what it really is. And in this palace we're able to recycle 9 different items to be reused one more time.
There was a number of reasons that prompted West America Bank to want to participate in this project. It gave West America Bank an opportunity to be at the forefront of a very important issue facing this country today, and that is waste management. This country really, I don't believe, has really come to grips with the waste disposal problem, and here in our own backyard we have an opportunity to become a part of the future of waste management.
Future looks bright. The curbside recycling program is expanding and growing.
In 1981, we recycled over 2 million pounds of recyclables. Last year, in 1986, we did over 40 million pounds of recyclables. This year, we're hoping to do over 46 million pounds of recyclables. The participation level at this time is over 50% in the county of Marin. And we hope to get at least 75% in the next 2 years.
We started out with 5 recycling trucks. Now we're up to 9, and we still need an extra truck, and we need another compactor truck for just the apartment houses alone to pick up the newspapers. The routes are getting bigger all the time, so we might even need more trucks after that.
Marin's curbside recycling program is proving recycling can work on a large scale. Now, with its companion program, the Resource Separation Facility, a lot more waste is being diverted. The separation facility is located down the block from the recycling center. It's a huge building, built for the future. Ron Piombo worked with Joe Garbarino to develop and plan it. He explains the systems inside.
Right here behind us, we have the entrance for the public with the toll booths. After they pay and enter here, they go right immediately to the dumping area. They dump down a 3-foot level onto the tipping floor where the loaders immediately move the material to one of 3 lines. Our system is comprised of 17 belts, totaling over 1/4 mile. They're arranged in 3 separate systems. One system is the wood grinding, which enters a different part of the building and goes through a process to be turned into hog fuel. The second system of belts goes up into an area where hand recycling takes place. Several men sort out the material to be recycled and paper that is baled in a system beyond this one. The third is the waste belt, which pulls all waste from this building and transfers it into the transfer station. That material there is then loaded and hauled to the landfill. One of the main concerns of the flow of traffic in this building was to make sure that the commercial vehicles and the general public stayed separated.
Constructing this building was a pressure operation because of the local dump closing. It had to be big enough for the future and look nice.
Rather than attack the building as a whole, we chose to begin working the project from one end toward the other. This allowed us to actually have the public enter the building and have the building in operation while we were still completing the construction in the far end. This area of the flow is one of the last areas we completed because it required a special topping. A 1-inch thick topping, a mixture of concrete and steel, is designed to withstand the constant abrasion of the tractors.
Master Builders has designed Anvil Top to make sure that there's no breakdown in the flow of materials in the facility. It will outlast normal concrete floor 4 to 8 times.
Marin Sanitary Service has been using Anvil Top in its facilities for the last 8 years, and it's done an excellent job for us. Without a doubt, Anvil Top has proven to be an economical floor topping for us.
In order to accommodate the type of vehicles and the free flow of materials and equipment we're dealing with here, we had to design a building with a minimum of obstruction and the maximum of space within the structure. We have a building which is 294 feet wide by 461 feet long, 54 feet high at the ridge, 27 feet high at the eave, which is equivalent in area to about 2 1/4 football fields. The question I had to ask myself is, how do you do that and contain it in a building and a facility that would be attractive to the community? The resource recovery facility required approximately 3 acres of enclosed space. In order to do this economically, we chose to use a steel frame structure and a steel skin. To give the building the appearance of strength and scale, we used concrete columns applied to the steel frame.
All of these considerations were important because this facility is a public dump. Our long-term goal is to recycle 100% of everything dumped here. Right now, we're recycling over 30%. Much of the recycling work is done by hand. On the hand sorting platform, the material cascades over a pyramid formation onto 2 narrow picking belts. Workers pick out the recyclable materials: wood, paper products, metals, and glass. Rejects continue down the 2 belts and fall onto a wide belt. Then they go to 1 more wide belt. which takes all the non-recyclables, mostly plastics, back to the waste conveyor system and out of the building. Far less waste is leaving than came into the building as waste. Cardboard, newspapers, and mixed waste paper are stored in bins below the platform. The bins have conveyor belt bottoms. When the bins become full, they're emptied onto a conveyor. This conveyor is the beginning of the automatic paper baling system.
This is the Ambeco NSB 362 no-shred baler installed at Marin Recycling in San Rafael, California. Ambeco has installed these machines in about 90 recycling and paper stock facilities in North America, Europe, South America, and Australia over the past several years. These balers are particularly well suited to baling corrugated cardboard, newspapers, and mixed paper, general mixed paper, which are included in the collections here at Marin Recycling. The baler is operating completely without operator attention. It's fully automatic in every respect. These bales will weigh out in the neighborhood of 1,750 to 1,800 pounds, nearly a ton of paper in one single bale.
In the long climb to a recycling economy, we need tight, heavy bales because the major markets are overseas. Used paper products are America's #2 export behind used steel. The first step in recycling cardboard and paper is to go through a centrifuge. The paper is broken down into its fibers. There are recycling systems like this at most paper mills. The other major product we derive from the resource separation facility fuels a paper mill. Many chips on this hog fuel pile are from Marin. They are clean burned in furnaces that generate steam. The steam powers a turbine which runs the entire paper mill. Chips are made in the resource separation facility from unpainted wood and brush.
Well, you see that big pile of yard debris and lumber and wood out there, which we want to process into boiler fuel. The biggest problem in the whole situation was quite simple. We have a lot of metal in there. Sometimes even a car engine, lawnmower engine, other types of metal. We had to get those out.
All the conveyor belts in this facility were manufactured by Carl Schmidt and Associates in Denver. Carl Schmidt and Associates make chain-driven rubber belt conveyors and have installed them in facilities around the world.
Carl devises a rubber belt that can take a tremendous beating that rides on Teflon and just rides smooth and accurately, and there's never any downtime on this.
The wood material travels through a system of conveyors which have magnets in them. There is a metal detector to detect large pieces of metal. The wood is ground up and goes past one more magnet.
Where there's another magnetic head pulley in that conveyor to physically take out the nails which were in a pallet or any kind of small metal which is left over. That's here again, that is very unique in that conveyor design. There's no metal belt you can put a magnet into. You can only do that with our rubber chain belt.
The chips land on a shaker table. Fines and dirt fall through the screen and they're collected in a box. The chips go up into storage bins for trailer loading and shipment to the paper mill. The fines are a byproduct of the chip making process. They go to American Soil Products in Berkeley. American Soil Products channels and processes them into materials useful for landscaping and horticultural applications.
Throughout the Bay Area, there are manufacturers who have leftovers or byproducts from their manufacture. These are clean organics which were formerly landfilled, but we can take those leftovers and under the direction of a soil scientist, blend them to make useful topsoils, potting soils, soil amendments, composts, and mulches. That's the essence of good recycling.
And there's enough wood and paper being destroyed yearly to fuel 5 million homes for 200 years. So this doesn't make any sense. On that garbage barge, there was 300 to 600 tons, and no matter who you believe, whatever the tons were, there was certainly X number of hundreds of tons on there also that could have been recycled. And rather than take all of that barge down the road to nowhere, you could have reused that material and sold it as a secondary product. And this is what the people should have been doing in the first place, and they wouldn't have had this amount to ship in 86 and 87 if they'd have done something about this in 70 and 80. And now the way of the future is you can't keep making barges because you know they're not going anywhere. You can't keep building Mount Trashmore's because you've already polluted that part of the state. Now you're going to have to do something that's smart, and that is that at the curb, let the people separate this trash, put it away for you, pick it up with a separate collection vehicle, and reuse that material.
The companion programs in Marin are a solution to the garbage crisis. Natural resources aren't being destroyed. The recyclables help cover the cost of diverting them from the waste stream, America's longest river.
Well, we make money simply mainly by diversion. We don't take the material to the dump, where it costs $12 a ton at the dump and $12 to get it there. In addition, we're able to sell these 9 different items. So between the combination of selling and the combination of diversion from the landfill, we're able to pay the mortgage off, which is $130,000 a month, and able to pay the people that are working in it and still turn a profit. I think that there's hope here in America. I think that between a curbside program of taking 22% out of the waste by picking it up house to house through their source separation, building a plant like this here where we're taking another 20–30% out of the waste stream, that there's hope for the future and there's hope for everyone in America probably to go out and do this. Certainly on the East Coast, West Coast, we need to concentrate on now is the diversion. Don't make a product that you can't recycle or that you can only use once. What we've got to do now is go back to the basics, make paper products, glass products, canned products that can be recycled over and over again.
The methods of the hand sorting system in the indoor dump and in the curbside recycling program go back to garbage collection 50 years ago. Now we can do it better.
We know how to pick it up. We've been recycling for 70 years. We had mobile recycling centers. 3 guys packing the garbage up to 7 steps into heaven, and 1 guy in heaven sorting all day. He never saw the stars or the sun. And we rotated each week. It was a back-breaking job. You sold glasses, clothes, shoes. We sold those, you know, $1 a pair, 50 cents a pair for glasses. The guy came in, they looked good, he could read good, and he bought them. But and we made more money then from recycling than we did from the ratepayer at 25 cents a month. Now, I'm talking about when I was a high school kid going to Galileo in San Francisco, and up until probably 58, we were still doing it here in Marin County and sold our bottles because there were only 4 bottles. There was 1 gallon, a half gallon, the 5th, and the champagne. Then you got the 3 fat sisters, the 2 short brothers, and the 3 fat aunts, everybody emblazed on a thing. You couldn't sell anything to anybody anymore. And on top of that, they came out with liters. So how can you do all this? Legislation is needed more than ever, and I don't believe in government intervention in my business, but believe me, we need it now because we're out of control. No one is telling the plastics people to stop it. Now, those guys should be jailed. That's what they should be. You can put that on film, too.
Because of the package, it's styrofoam and plastic. Where years ago, they used to use paper product or the wood shaving, which then, if they were burning it, people used to burn it on the trash or on the fireplace, or every house had a burning container. Before, we might have polluted the air, now we pollute the water. And burying it, we're polluting water. You see all the prepackaged food that comes. See, all this stuff that exists. See, all this prepackaged stuff. The milk with reusable bottle. See, all this stuff here was in glass container that they were reusable. Where today, it's all becoming garbage.
This plastic represents 15% of our solid waste. We're taking it from the ground as a natural resource, a resource that was left to us millions of years ago when the dinosaurs passed on and left us this valuable oil. Only 1 item, only 1 plastic item, the PET bottle, can be recycled. The reasons why we can recycle this plastics bottle is because the state of California passed a bill called AB 2020, which requires you that if you're going to make an item for your soft drinks, you're going to have to take that item back, whether it's glass, aluminum, or plastic. So they're now taking the only plastic item back and they're recycling it. But for the other 350 plastic items, like these plastic bags and hangers, etc., there's no market for it. Either we legislate these people or they do it on their own, and they find a market for 15% of this solid waste that is plastics, and it's growing. And we can't continue on this course, and we can't solve these problems of solid waste unless we have a market to displace this material.
Not long ago, paintbrushes like these were plastic soft drink bottles. We buy about 400 million plastic soft drink bottles every year in California alone.
It means that you'll never have to send a plastic soda bottle to a landfill ever again, because now in California you can recycle your plastic soft drink bottles with ease.
The experience and wisdom of the soft drink bottlers serve as an excellent model for other packaging industries.
Soft drink bottlers recognize the importance of recycling. Each container must be recyclable. Aluminum is a good example of a recyclable product. This feature has helped make the aluminum can the #1 package for soft drinks in the state of California. Many years ago, the soft drink bottler stopped using the bimetal can because it was not recyclable. In 1985, local bottlers, in cooperation with Marin Recycling, kicked off a program to demonstrate that our plastic soft drink bottles could be recyclable. In the future, industry needs to abstain from using any packaging material if there is no post-consumer market for it, or if the package cannot be disposed of in an environmentally sound way.
You know, for years people have always made the statement that glass is the preferred package for soft drinks and beer, and it is the preferred package for food as well. This container will be the preferred package of the future, especially since it is so recyclable. You may not be aware of it, but we can take this bottle and recycle it many, many times, from a beverage container to a ketchup container to a mayonnaise jar, back to beverage again, over and over again. Glass, the totally recyclable package.
Securing more markets for more recyclable material is a key to the future growth of recycling in America.
With the federal government and the state of California, the largest purchasing agents in the nation, it only seems reasonable that they would mandate that a portion of those products contain our secondary materials. We have beefed up our curbside pickup programs. We have state legislation helping us recycle these products. It's only right that now we can guarantee a market to use these secondary materials.
Changing patterns of a throwaway society is hard work. The recycling operations in Marin are 2 big steps in a positive direction.
The garbage crisis started with Adam and Eve. Eve gave Adam the apple. Adam ate the apple, threw the core away. Had he ever recycled it or composted it, we wouldn't be in the problem that we are today. Where we're at today is in a situation where we've got barges to nowhere. And we're going to have to do something about this, not at the back door, but at the front door, where the products are made. We've got to either stop making the stuff or make a product that can be recycled. It's as simple as that.
The garbage patch was abandoned.